Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream with me. There was a few people in here before. It seems like everybody has vacated, so I'm just going to start this about 10 minutes early. Wait for people to start filing back in. That way, nobody misses anything that they might have been looking forward to. Also, if anybody is here to answer, just let me know that you're hearing me okay. I did not get a chance to do a mic check. Um, hey, Frank, how are you? Just making sure I'm coming through okay. Did not do a mic test, so it's nice to see you, man. Happy Friday night. Um, Hello, Warrior Princess. Hello, Wrath. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Like I said, I'm going to give it another few minutes, like I always do. Turn the red light on, let people file in. If you guys have anything you guys want to, punch into the comments, if you guys want to talk, I'm all about it. Help me fill up some time for the next 8.5 minutes. Hello, Vision the King. How are you? They're coming soon, my friend. We're gonna officially kick it off here at 9:30 sharp. I always start the stream a couple minutes early and just let people file in as they see that I am streaming. Glad you guys can hear me okay. Um, so that's awesome. Sorry if you do hear a little bit of the air conditioner in the background. It's kind of humid around here, and if I turn that off, I'm going to be a little uncomfortable. So I'm going to leave the air conditioner running. So I do apologize for any background noise. Thank you. Live streams always make me nervous, so I'm really glad that you look forward to them. Yep, I am East Coast. It is 9:22 here, so 9:30 Eastern Standard Time sharp. We'll kick off the stream officially. I'm sorry, Frank. Oh, that stinks. Always hate it when the phone's about to die, especially when you're using it and it's like, it's almost dead. What do I do? So I feel your pain, my friend. Pockets has on a Pirates movie. So again, also if I become distracted while we are sitting here waiting for the stream to start, it is because I get sucked into movies like I'm actually in the TV. So that's a good. Actually, I do the same thing. Actually, when I'm mowing and stuff, a lot of times I'll put music on and mow, and it does burn up the battery for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and to grab another energy drink real quick, just so I've got something to wet my whistle with while I'm reading. Frank and his ideas, man. Frank, I swear to God, he's the idea man. If you need an idea for a story, Frank's the guy to go to. 6 more minutes, 5.5, something like that. We'll do a seconds count. Yeah, it's more like 6. It's 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I know I'm a stickler for punctuality. I used to. Monsters actually give me withdrawals when I come down off of them. I don't feel well. I prefer Red Bull. I don't really crash off of a Red Bull, but they're not very high caffeine content in comparison to other energy drinks. So I've actually been steered in the direction of rock stars recently. Those Mean Bean 300s are really good too, but again, Monster makes me crash. So can't have too many of those. But right now I'm drinking a generic Impact energy drink from Stewart's, and they do the job. They get it done. So welcome back, NWO, as well. Just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, Monsters are good. I do like Monsters. I love the taste. Like, the only energy drink I enjoy the taste more of would be Red Bull. But like I said, Monsters I get a horrible crash off them. Yes, L.W.Suton. That's me. I anything written by L.W.Suton is written by me. And actually, so tonight I'll be featuring at least, I believe, 4 stories, all written by that L.W.Suton guy. So yeah, that's my pen name. It's been kind of like my pen name since I was in high school. So just kind of stuck with it. And excuse the cannage opening. Looks like we're down to about another 3-minute mark. Where we at? Yeah, getting close though. Getting close. Thank you. It's got a little bit of a meaning behind it. Can't remember the name of the movie. It's got Patrick Swayze in it. I'll have to dig it up and post it in the Discord. You guys can give it a listen or a look or a watch. It'll give you a little bit of insight into where my name comes from. Or at least the Sutton part, not the LW part. That also has a backstory to it. No, it's not Dirty Dancing. I can't remember. It's where they hold this guy down in the locker room and they say they're going to shave the guy while they're holding him down. Ding ding, paging Dr. Sutton, press hard, razor's kind of dull. That's the movie it's from. So the Dr. Sutton thing is where the Sutton came from. LW, the names that L and W stand for, those names rhyme with my actual first initials, or my first and middle initial, sorry. So you'd have to know what the L and the W stand for to know what the first initials of my name rhyme with. I know, so intricate. Yeah, I've tried Bang. They're not bad. Oh, thank you very much too. For liking the stories. Like, I'm really happy that you like them. It's I really enjoy writing. I really enjoy creating horror content. Just to be part of that community, a community that I love very much. I've always wanted to be a part of and create content for. So to kind of be in that position is just, it's huge to me. I love it. So I'm really glad you like the stories. Hopefully tonight's will satisfy. I know usually I read longer stories, and I'll address this again in about a minute and a half when we actually start the stream. Tonight's format is a little bit different. Usually I read a long story. So tonight instead I'm going to read a bunch of short stories. Like I said, 3 to 4 at the very least. But we'll get into that full discussion here in about a minute 25. Getting close. Oh, live streams make me so nervous. You're right. Don't be nervous. No pressure. Yeah, no pressure at all. Not at all. No pressure for no reason. Why would there be pressure? Thank you. I try. I've been told I give good phone. For what it's worth. And no, not in like a bad way, but like part of my job is to, like, be on the phone, answer phone calls, stuff like that. And been told I'm very good at it. So yes, it is the monthly sociopathic live reading hosted by myself. Very much correct. Oh yeah, and we are getting close here. We're down to seconds, like 10 seconds before we like officially kick this off. Oh, Dark Somnium. Yeah, he's awesome. He does things that I can't imagine. He narrates live while composing music for the narration. I have a tough enough time just reading live. Never mind also composing music in the background while I'm reading. So it is 9:30, so I would like to welcome you all to the monthly Cleaving Thought from Bone live stream. As I was just stating previously, usually do one longer story every single month. There was one month, I think I was at Locust Lake, where I reread A Stony Heart of the Black Woods. So they're not always brand new stories that were up on my channel, just usually they are. Just like that one, tonight's is actually going to break that mold. I'm going to go ahead and read some shorter stories, some tidbits that I've put up previously in the past few weeks. Some of them you might have heard. Some of them maybe you haven't heard. It's not like they've got like millions of views or anything like that. Did go ahead and I wrote a short one specifically for tonight as well that has never been narrated as too. So I hope you guys like that one. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are ready, if you got no more questions, I can always jump into the first story. The one reason why I chose this format was for that specific reason. It'd be a little bit easier to read a little bit and then stop. I don't got to worry about, reading for 25 minutes straight and worrying about every little mess up. It's it's a little nerve-wracking. Also, like I said, I've only got probably about 5 or 6 more of my stories from my old channel that I can go ahead and read through live stream, and a lot of them are like a half an hour long or longer. So I'm a little apprehensive to go ahead and just read one of those live. So combine those things together is kind of why I came out with tonight's format. So I'll go ahead and I'll start the first one. I'll take a break, stuff like that, and we will go from there. So just let me go ahead and hit my vape real quick, and we'll get started with the first story. I also want to thank you guys too for stopping in tonight. Like, seriously, thank you very, very, very much. But hear what you're saying, picking up what you're putting down. Start the reading, right? All right, let's go. Let's do it. I call this one, There's Something in the Void. A few years ago, scientists discovered something unusual in space, or with space, as it were. It is well documented that cosmic matter is generally evenly dispersed throughout the universe. However, there is a spot in our night sky that is completely devoid of stars and celestial bodies. This has been a topic of debate for a few years, as scientists cannot explain it. The void, as it has been dubbed, is hundreds of thousands of light years across, far larger than any known galaxy or nebula, and is 100 completely void of everything but nothingness. Truly, the existence of such a phenomena is implausible, and as such, has garnered great interest from the scientific community. Now, I am no renowned scientist, or am anyone of any kind of importance at all, really, except for that of the knowledge that I now hold. I can't help but wonder, do they already know about this? I mean, if they do, I'd imagine that they're being silent for the same reasons that I've been for so long. But I won't be anymore. You need to know. You all need to know what's out there, what's likely to come for us in some distant or near future. I've kept quiet since last year when I peered up into that night sky to discover true, primal terror. I figured that if people knew, there would be a mass panic and a plethora of pre-apocalyptic scenarios. And while all of that may be true, I can't keep quiet about it anymore. Because it's changed. It's gotten bigger. Over the past year, the void has been growing larger, blotting out distant stars with darkness. But there's more to it than that. I'm pretty sure it's getting closer, that it knows we're here. Because last year, when I aimed my telescope up at the void hanging in space, just for the briefest of moments, I saw it blink. And so there's something in the void. Again, threw that one up probably a couple of weeks ago. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of an ode, a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit to Lovecraft. One moment. So, cool. Any comments? You guys want to throw anything in? Go ahead. Again, I'm going to take another quick breather, and then we'll just jump right into the next one. So, Trying to make the stream last as long as I can. But you guys, I mean, I usually I read for about 20 minutes and then I fill up the last 40 minutes with filler and channel updates and discussions. So, well, I'll do my best here to keep it rolling. Yes, it is the same void that has gotten bigger and larger. And the void in space, that's completely void of everything. It's completely unexplained. That's a real phenomenon. So I was kind of watching a documentary on that the other night, and it just kind of gave me an idea. And I guess it wasn't the other night. It was more like a month or two ago, maybe even longer. I have got documents all over the place, so just little story ideas. So it was just something I kind of pulled out of the hat and threw together. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit my vape, and then we will go on to the next one. Okay, the document back up. Here's another one that I read a few weeks back, actually a few more weeks, I'd say more like a couple months back, that you guys might remember. Again, I really enjoyed this one. It's a shorty, but it packs that powerful punch. So I hope that nothing is in it, because if there's something living in that void, I'd rather not know about it. Well, thank you. I mean, it helps that I did write it. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. When I narrate my own work, it is a lot easier. I know where the breaths are, the pauses, and just the verbiage itself is familiar to me. So it's a lot easier to go ahead and give it that live reading with maybe a bit of an acting tone. But of course, live reading and then adding acting into it is live it's a trick. There's no doubt about it. So, all right. So without further ado, let's just move right into the next one. I call this one Poor Soul. I sit here, unable to move, staring at this poor soul before me, or at least what's left of him. The man is slumped in the corner, not unlike a heap of refuse, discarded and deemed useless. Apparently, this man's life had no value, not enough for him to be allowed to continue life, at least not in that mortal form anyway. No one knew that he came here, to this abandoned building, alone. Well, alone except for those who followed him, watched him, laid their traps baited with lures of curiosity and promise. Blood leaks from the man's skull, from the upper half that is missing, and from the empty sockets that once housed brown eyes. This man had a wife, but no more. She would be widowed now. The tile floor on which he lay is slick with that thick crimson leaking from his head, pooling dense, like paint, so enriched that it appeared almost black. Things move and work about near to this poor soul, the shadows of those that lured him to this place. Noises were sure to be heard, but I could hear none, nor could I turn and see them. All I was allowed to do was look at the corpse in front of me, boggled by what and how I was seeing what I was seeing. Stuck in a nightmare, pondering the existence of this man's life, my life. Those things removed the brain, eyeballs and all, and somehow kept it alive within a transparent container filled with fluids unknown. Everything was blurry, but I knew then the hell I would have to endure. I knew then that this poor soul was me. It's actually a story that I got from the lore pertaining to Jabba's palace in Star Wars. I don't know if any of you guys remember Return of the Jedi, But in the beginning of that movie, when Luke goes to Jabba's palace to rescue Han, there's these spider-like creatures walking around with like these big glass bellies. And if you look in the bellies, there's actually a brain floating around in that liquid. There's a whole backstory that's explained in the books, apparently, about Jabba's palace and the cult that used to live there and the cult that remained there on the lower levels while Jabba was in power. And this cult basically tried to perfect perception of the world and themselves by eliminating all external, what they deemed to be useless stimuli. So first they would remove their sense of sight, and then maybe their sense of hearing so they could focus on their thoughts. But eventually they removed so much, they were only brains. And again, there's a whole lot of lore about who this happened to, some people that didn't want this to happen to them, and all this stuff. It's very, very intriguing. That's where I got the idea for the story. So just wanted to throw that little tidbit out there, which, again, I don't know how interesting that is, but it's something that not a whole lot of people know. Cool. Feel free to share your story ideas here, Princess. You can share them in the Discord, or you can just simply DM me. I'd love to hear about them. All right. Again, I'll hit my vape maybe 2 or 3 more times, and I guess I will just go ahead and jump into the next one. If you guys want to, post any comments, you have any questions for me, by all means, please throw them in there. Love reading comments, love answering questions. I also posted a podcast tonight, which is a triple tidbit-sized scary story upload. So I did make sure that the ones I picked out for tonight's live reading, none of them were included in tonight's podcast. So if you guys did happen to listen to the podcast earlier tonight, none of these stories will be included in that. Almost all of them, though, have been previously put up on my channel, with the exception of the next one I'm going to read. This one is all new. So, well, I guess without further ado, I'll jump right in. I call this one, We Are All Walking Ghosts. Something's wrong with the world, and I don't know how to tell anyone. Should I tell anyone? We're all dead anyway, myself included. Just most don't know it yet. I do, but that doesn't make me feel any better. In fact, it only motivates me to maybe eat a bullet or take a toaster bath. Anything to avoid the terrible fate that awaits everyone. See, I'm a nuclear physicist. Sounds fancy, I know. And yeah, it's a mentally demanding position and title, but mostly just means that I study things that are very small, albeit having the most grand of effects. I have access to all kinds of lab equipment to help analyze subatomic particles and reactions, DNA sequences, etc. Never did I think I'd be examining my own. A couple days ago, the world over reported a bright blue flash in the sky. It was fleeting, but in parts of the world where night had descended, it lit up the landscape as if it were day. Following this, people got very sick. Scientists rushed to explain the phenomena, but couldn't, or at least that's what they said. I too was among the majority to become ill, and like everyone else, felt fine in a day or two after. But how could such an event cause everyone to get sick? How could something cause an entire planet's population to shed its skin, melt away muscle from bone, and basically cause a human to rot away while living? Well, when your cells have no DNA, if your genetic code is shattered, no new cells can be produced. In essence, a person will be alive, talking, and feeling well for days. That is until cells start to die, not being replenished, and the body slowly rots and melts away, causing intense and unending pain to any still functioning nerve endings. It's a condition called walking ghost syndrome, caused by a sudden burst of radiation so intense it destroys DNA, always signaled by a bright blue flash. I won't say anything for the same reasons they won't, because there's no point. We're all already dead. You just don't know it yet. And that is We Are All Walking Ghosts. And that's actually based on, again, I was watching, listening, hearing about this true story about the only person to ever suffer from this syndrome, and very much wanted to write a story about it because it's terrifying. This actually happened to somebody. They kept him alive for almost 3 months. Pretty nightmarish stuff. But again, wanted to write a story on it, but I just couldn't figure out a way to make it a grand story, like a Saturday upload. So I wanted to write it into a tidbit. But yeah, messed up stuff. If you guys are curious about that, look that up. Walking ghost syndrome. It'll definitely get your wheels turning. I gotta agree. Werewolves, supernatural creatures, I'm down. And if you think it'll make a good fit for, the future fall contest that I'm going to be having, then yeah, save the idea for sure. If you guys want to go ahead and throw something in, I was going to just read 3 stories tonight, but that went a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna. So I will read one more, and then we'll take it from there. We run out of topics before a full hour is completed. I'm perfectly fine with a half an hour or a 45-minute stream. I know it's Friday night. I don't want to keep you guys bogged up. Hey, Twisted, how's it going, man? Welcome. Happy Friday night. But yeah, or if you guys, if we keep me busy, I'll be here definitely for a full hour. But again, don't want to place a time demand. I guess limit wouldn't really be the correct word, but a time demand. No time demands. Yes, I'm going to keep my promise. That's the next one. Like I said, I was only going to read 3, but Lawson's Lament, Surface Tension. Again, it's a tidbit I wrote a while back. It's a Lawson's Lament tidbit, but it wasn't included in tonight's podcast, and it is again one of those stories I really really enjoy. And it's a little bit longer than the other ones I've read. This one's probably closer to like 8 minutes long instead of 5. So Pockets and Shiloh are doing well. Pockets is running around the house with her headphones into her phone, so that way she can listen to whatever she was watching on TV, because I'm doing a live stream in the living room. And Shiloh is in her bedroom playing Switch, because that's that's what she does. ISP, we could talk for an hour. We don't mind. Hey, like I said, if I can, come up with the topics and stuff and keep my help keep you guys engaged, help keep you guys interested for a full hour. But I don't want to sit here for the an entire 35 minutes going, I got nothing to talk about. So, but there is a lot of cool stuff coming up on the channel. So I figure maybe when I'm done reading, I will go ahead and throw that up there, talk a little bit about the channel and what's coming down the pike. You did do a great job on the last story, so I agree. All right. So I guess I'll go ahead. I will jump right into this one. Nightmare did ask me to read this tonight. I know that she can't make it here. She's having some issues with her internet, but she might be, tuning in a later point or something like that. So Nightmare, this one is it's for you and the rest of you peoples in here that are interested in hearing it. And hello, Devane, how are you? Happy Friday. Sorry, I didn't see you pop in. Which is strange because you're the only person in the chat with I want to say magenta colored profile icon. but I'm partially colorblind, so please excuse me if I'm wrong. All right, so I call this one Lawson's Lament, Surface Tension. There's a legend around here about how peculiar this stretch of old forested nowhere truly is. Talks of strange beasts that prowl the night, always just out of eyeshot, and devouring the souls of the innocent. Hell, I've even heard tales passed around by the locals about monsters made of trees and mud, glowing eyes in the dark, and shifting black shapes just below the surface of that damn lake. On the other hand, these are just stories, childish tales passed down by those with weak imaginations. It may have been enough to keep the local teens away from Lawson Lake campgrounds, to steer clear of that lake and therefore negating trespass and vandalism. I, on the other hand, am not superstitious, and am not some deviant teenager looking to score a good place for a beer party. However, there is an advantage into First one of the night. However, there is an advantage to coaxed seclusion of this forest haven: the fishing. On early, still mornings, the water steamy and placid, huge fish can be seen leaping free from the surface tension of the lake in an ambushed display of water in a frenzy that dazzled the scene like a ballet of nature, only for the fish to collide with the water with a splash before disappearing once again below that glassy surface, resetting the scene of tranquility once again. Kayak unloaded and set on a crisp and foggy morning, bathed in the twilight illumination of a slowly rising sun behind the horizon, I pushed off from shore, completely alone in my nirvanic surroundings. Only minutes had passed as I approached a lily bed, sure to be ripe with considerably sized largemouth, ready for the taking. I cast my line, and after the ripples dissipate, I begin my slow retrieve. However, I couldn't be sure, but it seemed as though the water itself, or something else below the surface, followed my bait back to the bow as I cranked the reel. If this was a living thing, it was larger than what my low-laid eyes could see from that water-level perspective, creating the appearance of the entire shadow of darkness in the depths below me to shift as I reeled, somehow somehow flowing towards me. A great shape, like a leviathan too large to have any business in a body of water this small, lending credence that this was an illusion created by my own imaginative mind. Once the bait was just beyond my stern, I pulled it free from the water with my rod, noticing the shadow or lake itself no longer appeared to be moving, shifting. I assumed the happenstance to be a trick of the eye in combination with early morning fatigue and low light. But what I saw just before I tossed But what I saw just before I was tossed from my kayak couldn't have been real. In an instant, the water exploded around me as if a bomb had detonated below me, and my body was thrown high into the air, heaved from my kayak. The sight below the surface had not resolved. The horror was still there, awaiting my return to the lake below. And in a flash, it was over. I had been submerged within the lake, and everything had gone black. I can't recall the specifics of what happened after that, because I have no memory of them. When I opened my eyes, I was laying upon the shore of that lake, near to that old, abandoned camp. My kayak was nowhere to be found, and I had no idea as to how I got back to dry land. I knew, however, that somehow I didn't feel right. Something was horribly wrong with me. My body and limbs don't move how I intend them to. My sight was blurred and fogged, as if I was looking at the world through an empty soda bottle. But when I stood and looked into the lake, I finally understood. I jumped in fright, thinking that the thing had come for me again, but I stopped when I realized that the sight before me was my own reflection. The glowing green eyes that I had spotted earlier were not the same as the ones I visually imbibed now. The green glowing eyes that were mirrored back, instead, belonged to me. And that is Lawson's Lament, Surface Tension. Sorry about the, what was it, three mess-ups in there? Not bad, though, for a whole night of reading. Only 3 mess-ups. Of course, they all had to be in the one story. That's actually part of a mythos. I'm sure you guys have realized that by now. Lawson's Lament, Campfire Tales, Lawson's Lament, Surface Tension. Is there another one out? I'd have to look. And then there's a new one coming out, though. Third or fourth one to be released, which is going to be Lawson's Lament, The Unknown. It's actually written by myself and Charlie Blackmore, a.k.a. Beautiful Nightmare, and is a direct sequel to Lawson's Lament, Campfire Tales. So if you guys liked that story, if you remember that story, it's going to pull a lot of inspiration and canonical cues from that specific story. Cool. All right. So that's the 4 stories I had picked out for us for tonight. I hope you guys did enjoy them. I'm actually surprised that I was able to make all 4 of those stories last me a full half an hour. That's pretty sweet. So, all right. Well, I guess we've reached the end of the professional aspect of things, and can now move into more casual stuff. So,
which means I return.
And
I stuck here forever.
And the Shiloh is here to join me.
So is the milk kitten.
Yeah, so is the kitten. So yeah, I really hope you guys though enjoyed the live reading tonight. I'm not closing it out right now or anything like that, but I really, really want to thank you again for stopping in tonight. It means the absolute world to me. Lots of great stuff coming up on the channel. Just want to throw that out there. This coming week, tomorrow, is the direct sequel to Mr. Shaw, The Locust Lake Collector, which is Mr. Shaw, The Locust Lake Legacy. Picks up right after that story leaves off, and features 8 or 9, possibly even 10 different voice actors. Again, it's about 50 minutes long, so make sure you pack a snack if you're stopping in tomorrow. I really think you're going to like it. And I know that with the Cult of Locusts, Mr. Shaw, these 2 stories that are coming out, the prequels, the journals and stuff like that, it's like, well, this new Locust Lake series seems like it's kind of all over the place. I promise you that what's to come ties all these different little Locust Lake story arcs together. Everything gets stitched together in the last 3 stories. So tomorrow is Locust Lake, the Locust Lake Legacy. Then the following week is actually One Night in VR, Help Needed. That'll be coming out next weekend, and that's a 5 Nights at Freddy's VR horror story. And yes, it is a sequel to Suspicious Locations, which is a sequel to Two Friends at Freddy's. So there is an overarching story arc between all 3 of these stories. And again, it's subtle. It's more hinted at, innuendoed in between the lines. So if you haven't seen the other 2 stories, it's totally fine. It's not going to affect the story in one way, shape, or form. But if you have, you might be able to start connecting some dots and seeing where this overall story is going.
Are we still talking about FNAF? We're talking
Go
about...
ahead.
Okay. I also recommend, if you're going to listen to FNAF stories, FNAF lore connects to it a lot. So, at least for me, since I'm a big FNAF fan, whenever I hear like FNAF lore and a story that either the father or somebody else makes. I'm always like, lore and story make me smile. So
yes, all of them do very, very much pay attention to also the underlying Five Nights at Freddy's lore. It's actually what makes the stories difficult to write, is because it's not lore that's explained in the game. It's all hidden lore that's inferred. You have to kind of like dig at the root and know people that search game code. It's a real pain to write a story written around lore that is not outright elaborated on.
That's why the FNAF ARG is very rude to the fans.
ISB says hello.
Hello.
After this story comes out next weekend, we are obviously going to return to the lake with the beginning of a 3-part story. So after tomorrow's story, all that's left of Locust Lake are 3 more stories. And those 3 stories are actually one long story broken into 3 parts. So tomorrow's story marks the end of all the multiple story arcs. And the story after that is literally the beginning of the end of Locust Lake. And it opens with all kinds of reveals. All kinds of reveals that have been hinted towards in the previous stories. And I don't think anybody's actually picked up on them yet. So I'm really, really excited to go ahead and deliver this stuff to you and finally get it up. After that comes out, then we're going to return to Dreamscape with Dreamscape Ouroboros Part 2, The Obsidian City. I'm really, really excited to get this series out as well. A lot of you know that I've been thinking about writing the 3rd Dreamscape series for about 4.5 years, and I worked on writing the Dreamscape series and getting it published for about 8 months total. So to get these finally up and narrated it's awesome. I'm really, really excited. The first one came out really, really well. I obviously wrote this final Dreamscape series as an ode to Lovecraft and all of his different mythoses and stuff like that. So maybe if you're a really big fan of Lovecraft, I'm a really, really big fan of Lovecraft, you guys actually really might enjoy the 3rd Dreamscape series that's being released right now. Then after that story comes out, then obviously we're going to return back to Locust Lake with the second to last story. And then I'm not going to make you guys wait, because then the weekend after that, we're just going to go right to the Locust Lake finale. And we'll end Locust Lake. I'm not going to make you guys sit and wait 2 weeks in between the last 2 stories. It's not fair to you. I don't want to make you die with anticipation.
Exactly.
And then the week after that is going to be Dreamscape Ouroboros Part 3, The Beginning of the End. And that is the last Dreamscape story to be narrated. That is also the Dreamscape finale. So you're going to have Locust Lake second to last, and then the Locust Lake finale the following week, and then the following week after that is the Dreamscape finale. So we're going to end both those series basically at the same time. That's actually going to free up room for the second Not All Heroes Wear Capes series that Doughboy is already halfway through writing and will be well underway, if not done, by the time we get to the other half. And we're also going to start something in October that I have been dying to share with everybody since January. It's the epicness of it cannot be understated, cannot be overstated. What's coming out in October, no lie, for lack of a better way of putting it, is going to make everything I've done on my channel up until this point look like an intro. It's just going to be an introduction, basically. The past 2.5 years, 300 videos, whatever it is, that's all an introduction. What's coming out in October is absolutely huge, and I really, really hope you guys will like it. And I know for a fact that you're going to love it.
Have I heard about this?
Yes, you've heard about the project, but we can't talk about it.
Project Hunk.
Yeah, you can't talk about the project, but it is coming, and it is almost halfway written for. And when I mean written for, it's 10 episodes a year, and then like a 2 to 3 month hiatus. So basically, it's going to be season 1, season 2 with 10 episodes every single year. Basically, like, Cobra Kai or Ash versus Evil Dead. Of course, that stuff you get all 10 episodes at once, but you know what I'm saying. So every year you'll get 10 episodes of this specific project that's coming out in October, and I cannot wait to reveal the details. And then, of course, obviously, the 13 Days of Halloween, which are all completely written for. I actually wrote all the stories myself except for one that's Doughboys, a Halloween tale, not to be confused with the Halloween story. So that's going to be coming. It's very obviously very festive. It fits the season. And that's about what I got planned through November. I do have other stuff on the way as well, such as the rest of the Betrayal series is coming. I have Christmas completely written for. I have some fantastic stuff on the way, which also includes Krampus Claus 3. I told everybody last year I'd finally come out with a third one, and it's written. It's already done, so I made true on my promise. That's actually going to end up being the Cleaving Thought from Bone Christmas special this year.
Krampus Claus numero tres. If you know Spanish, that's number 3.
There was Krampus Claus, and then there was Krampus Claus, A Return to Tradition. 2 as in TWO. Wordplay. And then the third one's called Krampus Claus, Three's a Crowd.
Another wordplay.
More wordplay. So it will be a Krampus Claus trilogy, which is also going to tie into some other things again for Christmas as well. I don't want to give out too much and give too much away, but more killer turkeys. I've never written a story about a killer turkey. I might attempt it this year, but I will say this, man. As you can tell, I've got my Saturday uploads planned out basically for the next 2 months. Would like to write one and get one in there if I can, but the schedule is very, very tight. Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. It's actually Charlie Blackmore's day. That's BN's Tidbit Day. So she actually I'm going to try and encourage her to maybe write something for Thanksgiving since it falls on BN Day. And go from there. But I mean, I've written a ritual story called 10 Shots In. I wrote a cryptid, we'll just say cryptid story called Something Hides in the River Mist. I've written a story. It's very, very much has nothing to do with it. The characters are different. The scenes are different. And if I didn't tell you this, you'd never actually realize. But I wrote a story that's kind of somewhat inspired by, I guess you could say, the other internet. It's called You Shouldn't Listen to the Future. I really like that. I haven't been able to get that narrated and put it up yet. Wrote another story called The Time That a Drug Almost Killed Me.
Oh no, this is not so fun.
It wasn't fun. And no, it's not because of like a drug overdose. It's something completely different. And it is based on a true story. It has nothing to do with me taking any drugs at all. Surprisingly, from the name of the story, like, well, how could a drug almost kill you if you weren't taking any drugs? Again, you'll see. I'm always into ambiguous titles. So, but again, I've got these longer stories written. I just haven't been able to squeeze them in. This FNAF VR story, I actually had to kind of shoehorn in as soon as I was able to. It's been written since I wrote Suspicious Locations. 3-4 months ago? I've had this
while you were like
I've had this story written, yes, and I was planning it while I was writing Suspicious Locations, but I've had this written and it's been done for months. I just haven't had a chance to shoehorn it into the lineup, but it has to be in the lineup and it has to get done because I've got a FNAF surprise for you coming during the 13 days of Halloween. And this story has to be out before then. So
which means this year there's going to be 3 FNAF parties.
Possibly.
3 of them.
Listen, not giving any away, but it definitely can happen.
We already had one. We're going to have one again. Then we're going to have another one again. And it's great.
It's true. Yeah, whenever we release a new FNAF story over here, Shiloh and I do a whole FNAF party day.
And to get into the lore, he's going to play Pizzeria Simulator so he can write a story.
Yep. Well, yes. Well, again, you're getting way ahead and you're revealing.
I'm sorry, but
I know you're excited.
Hey, no, because all I said was we're gonna play Pizzeria Simulator and get into the lore.
Yeah.
They don't know what parts they want.
I'm just saying, don't give out too much, man.
I'm just hinting at it. It's like a bite-sized Snickers bar of hints. Honk. I have taken over my voice. I've taken over the chair. I am now guy in the chair. Well, that's
It's getting a little warm
I
in
just
here.
got kicked out of my chair.
You did, because it
I'm
was your chair.
suing.
It's my chair.
I'm suing.
Me favor. You get that. Your mother. Child is gonna go run and grab me a quick cigarette. I'm gonna figure I'll go ahead and I'll have a smoke, and then maybe while and yes, I know I vape. My beloved wife, she kind of went back to smoking a little bit, and it's been a little hard for me to stay away from it since I'm back around it again. I am in the process of trying to get back to my vape. I've been doing well, so don't everyone to think like, I'm going to be killing myself with cancer sticks for the rest of my life. I actually have done pretty good today. I plan on doing even better next week, but I did pretty good getting through this live stream, so I'm just going to go ahead and reward myself. I figure maybe once I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and I'll end the stream. At that point, we'll be on for a good 45 minutes to almost an hour. I know it says 50 minutes on the counter, but obviously I don't count that first 10 minutes because it's literally me just sitting around waiting to start the stream.
I always joke around with him about how he couldn't be a Twitch streamer.
Doesn't for me. She has a book written. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been writing a book. She said she kind of gave up on it, but she does write. She doesn't write for me yet. She will. Just not yet. But yes, I have gotten her into writing.
You will commit child labor soon. I'm just not ready to break the law yet.
I'm not breaking any law if your family.
That's still child labor.
Not if your family doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Nope, it doesn't actually. Told you, till you turn 18, you're property. You're not you. You belong to me.
Did you hear that?
That's why when you do something wrong, if you go out and get in trouble with the law, guess who gets in trouble? It ain't you.
I'm about to go commit arson. Bye.
And I'll get in trouble for arson. No, you're not having my lighter.
She won't know. No!
So,
my straw!
Again, just really want to, I know I've said it before 2-3 times. Just want to say it again. Really, really appreciate you guys stopping in tonight. Super, super, super happy that you did. And always, always very grateful and happy to see all of you. Very, very much hope that you guys stop in for Locust Lake tomorrow. Again, I believe it's like 50 minutes long. It takes a lot of work to put those Locust Lakes together. So know that those of you that do stop in and do like really enjoy the Locust Lakes, it helps make that very much rewarding. So I'm happy that you guys do enjoy the series.
My straw has frozen ice in it, so now I can't drink my water, and I am upset. I'm very angry.
Well, it'll stay cold. People put water bottles in the freezer to freeze them so they stay cold all day.
I just broke the strap. I'm having such a bad time.
See, you're entitled.
What?
Stop being so entitled.
Sure. I have it, Father.
Give it to me, weakling.
What do you mean? I just fixed it. Jeffrey, for all we know, that could be your real name.
Yes. Oh, no, you did a reveal. My name is Jeffrey.
It's actually the most boring
the cat,
thing ever. Jeffrey.
My name is Bob.
I'm just Bob.
It's such an interesting name, right? Oh, no, the cat's out of the bag.
Why strong over it?
So if you guys can find Bob Lockhart, I'll be very proud of you.
Well, another spoiler, Lockhart's not even his last name. It's Joe.
It's Bob Joe. It's like Bobby Joe.
It is.
It is. I got a bunch of first names as all my names, like Ray Bob. Ray Bob Bruce. Ray Bob Bruce.
Or like the FNAF character, Henry Emily.
Henry Emily?
It's the puppet's dad.
Oh, that's a weird name.
Because the puppet's Charlie or Charlotte.
Sorry, I have a small kitten scaling the heights of my pant leg.
Why does this not work? I'm upset.
And you should be upset, apparently.
Wait.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Bob. If I was, I wouldn't have said my name is Bob. So basically, you can be assured that you don't know what it is. My name is not Bob.
He's a psychologist. He could be using reverse psychology.
Like reverse psychology. Yup, reverse.
Stop. Reverse psychology. Okay, I found out the problem. Everybody.
It's like 16 walls. What?
It's not the actual straw that is frozen. It's the connection between
go run
the
it under
straw
hot water.
and the top. I will, but I need to let everybody know my predicament. I don't think I said that word right.
You did not. But speaking of your predicament, I think it's going to be time for all of us to be in your predicament, because I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream. Since now I am rambling on about topics such as frozen water bottles.
We're back to the topic of straws.
Absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping in tonight. I really hope you enjoyed tonight's live reading. I know it's a little bit of a different format than we do monthly, and next month we will probably be back to our normal return to form. But until then, again, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for stopping in tonight. Really does mean the world to me. Really look forward to hopefully seeing you guys tomorrow. And glad I could, help perk your moods. So, absolutely, Queen Dragon, it was my absolute pleasure. Devane, not a problem. Streams always make me nervous, but again, seeing you guys stop in and generally, genuinely getting excited for them, it helps me to keep pushing forward. So I very, very much appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys have a fantastic Friday evening. Please be safe out there. Keep yourselves healthy. And I will catch you tomorrow during the Locust Lake premiere. Hope you survive till then. Have a great night.
Ta-ta, mortals. Aggressively sips water.